Insights with Terri Ep.204, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.204. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.204. We will be exploring together the week of the January the 26th through February the 7th, 2025. Lot going on in our world in so many areas. How do you make a 10-minute podcast to touch on all areas, even if it is just for the week and a bit of an overview? I thank you for joining me. I will try to keep this a happier thing, but there are some things that I would like to bring to your attention. And talking to my guides, there's some things that they want to bring to your attention as well. So I will try to keep it as positive as I can, knowing that sometimes we have to serve up lima beans on a nicer plate, maybe to make them look or taste a little bit better. Now, the sun sign has moved into Aquarius, so that's humanitarian. That's an energy field that we can look at the big picture and want to do best for our people, the globe. It's not so focused on necessarily the next door neighbor. The energy vibrates with trying to look at the big picture, sorting out the big picture so that we can see ahead. We need that right now with some of the leaders in both the United States that were put into power for small, how would I put this? People that think small. He's going to make the price of eggs go down, are now seeing the fruits of their lack of information hitting the globe. So that's what I'm trying to get across to us, humanitarian, the globe, big picture. That's what they're trying to get us to look at now, so that we can be ahead of some of the decisions that are going to be going to be made for us and by us. So it's important. It's important to know what's going on, not to hide our heads in the sand and pretend it's not our problem. I can't do anything about it. It's not my problem. That's how some really bad people got into really high positions in the past. And that's how it's happening now. It is our problem, and we do have to pay attention. And we do need each other as a pride, as a herd, as a flock, to protect each other. It's so important not to give in and give up. And that's what this energy is, the humanitarian aspect of it. Capricorn in Mercury will be there until the 29th of this week. And that is being able to figure out problems, solve problems, focus on something and get her done. And then it moves into Pisces. And that energy field is one that will give us a little bit more intuition on things that we need to be intuitive about. And Pisces is also in Venus. So we're combining some of that ability to, I'm going to say, be psychic. This doesn't feel good. I know what they're saying to me, but it doesn't feel right. And maybe I need to look at this a little differently. And then we have Mars, the planet of our drive, that's going retrograde. And so that takes away a lot of our energy, a lot of our steam. So we have to guard that. And that is in Cancer. And Cancer is about love and nurturing and home and taking care of people that are friends, like sisters. But with it going retrograde, we'll be swimming against the stream. And it'll make it a little hard for us to keep our eye on that ball, so to speak. The number that was given to us is the number 9. And when you combine it with where the planets are right now, we're looking at being able to embrace an idealistic approach towards our surroundings and ourselves. And it's a journey. It's a journey that can help us gain some experience. Maybe meet some people along the way that will facilitate some of the things that we need to learn, some of the things that we need to discover, uncover, and work towards. It'll give us an energy field that helps us be more devoted to the goals that we've set up, because we've had the last few months to set some goals for ourselves and retain that sensitivity and courage. And that's what's really, really important to us and to, I think, humanity, to not take our eye off the ball and to accept the responsibility, to take on the responsibility of maybe making sure that everything is okay. That's going to be absolutely necessary. There was a Facebook post by somebody that said, "How dare Canada," I'm going to try to say this calmly, how dare the Canadians think that they can stand up to somebody like the United States and somebody like Trump. What we should be doing is kneeling, saying yes sir, no sir, and acquiescing, and not poke the bear. Breathe. There is no way that I can explain to you the emotion that roared up my body when I read that. And I tried not to respond, but I had to. And all I said is that's a cowardly approach. And if the cowardly approach was allowed in the First World War and the Second World War, and people didn't go and fight for what they thought was right and true, and let all those Jewish people be harmed, and didn't stand on the side of people that were being crushed and go up against a bully, what would our world look like now? And so by giving in and giving up so easily, I don't know, do we know ourselves? I guess that's what it is with all these energies that are around us right now. And that number 9 is saying, do we spiritually know ourselves? And how much do we need for high material security? We, in many cases, as a species, are selling our souls for money, forgetting about love and truth and friendship. And we have to guard against that. We have to fight against that. I'm going to bring an example. Most of us have animals, not everybody, but most of us do. And most of us love our animals like our family. They are family members. And one of the things that has been bothering me terribly, in 2010, 98% of the veterinarian clinics, for instance, were owned by a veterinarian. It was against the law for a non-veterinarian to own a clinic. Well, then they changed that law, and these companies got in and started corporate buying the veterinarian clinics. Now, in Toronto alone, 740 of those clinics are owned by corporations. And they said in the next 10 to 15 years, there may not be veterinarian-owned clinics. And the prices have gone to the moon. That's why, because you're buying from a corporation that does not care about your animal, does not care that they're burning the staff out. They only care about the bottom line. They will not let you get your prescription from the pharmacy because they block it, because now they have money to block it. And so some people are faced with maybe having a $1,760 bill every 3 or 4 months for medications for their animals, or put their animal down. Pay $7,500 for an operation, or put their animal down. Or have an infection that just requires some very, very price okay antibiotics, but because it's a monolith, and things are blocked, they have to pay 42 to 48% more than they would if they could do a generic, and can do a generic, but aren't facilitated to do that. That's money, people. And people shouldn't be losing their pets because they can't afford a pet. People shouldn't be able to be refrained from owning a pet because they are lower income. That's horrific to me. We need love. We need to give love. And companies like Mars and the VCA and JB Holdings are owning most of the clinics. So I am saying to you, I am putting it out in my small way. I am now looking at labels that say Canadian, not just a product of Canada, which means that they bought it from China or the United States and packaged it here. I'm doing the research. I am buying Canadian, even if it costs me a little bit more. When you go into your clinic, ask, is this a corporate-owned clinic or is this owned by a veterinarian? Try not to support the corporations, the oligarchs. This is where we need to fight. Our money will be our weapon. And with all things, tomatoes, potatoes, everything, we need to try to fight back with our pocketbooks in some small way. And it's becoming very corrupt. Everything is becoming so corrupt. But that doesn't mean that we have to lose. It doesn't mean that we have to give in. It doesn't mean that we're going to be a victim. We can go together, and if you get information, share that information. If you get the opportunity to learn something, share that learning with somebody. So if you can, do some research, share that research. Somebody else does some research. They will share it. This is emotional evaluation, emotional re-evaluation they are offering us. And that's one of the cards that came up, 4 of Hearts. And that's an energy 4 in numerology is solid, 4 corners on a house, 4 poster bed, solid. Emotions, 4 of Hearts. We need to take out our heart and decide what is important to us. What will we fight for? What will we stand for? Where is our line? And the card with the picture of the guides came out. Don't be afraid to ask for help from other people, yes, but from our divine source, from our guides, from our angels. Don't be afraid to ask for help. They're offering this to us even more. The insistence. See, I'm hearing the urgency. I'm hearing. They want to help us, but we have to ask. And the Sun came out, the card of the Sun. The most positive card in the deck. That is a energy field that I love, that warm, fuzzy harmony. And that's where they want us to enrich ourselves. Enrich ourselves for ourselves and for others. This is not financial. This is warm, fuzzy blankets. This is soft pajamas. This is picking up the phone and being kind to somebody else. This is looking that somebody drops something and you pick it up and give it to them. Looking around to see what can I do to encourage kindness and how do I educate myself so I know what I'm doing. The 3 of Swords came up, and that is a card of sorrow. And the sorrow is in relationships. So we're going to have some incidences that cause some sorrow for some of us. As I said, this in the past, this is a general reading. It's not specific for anybody in particular. It may pass somebody by. It may land in somebody's lap. But the sorrow is about a relationship. It's about seeing what could be done, what should be done, and not having the tools to be able to work with it, and maybe just accepting it for what it is. And where can I help and what can I do? And if I can't, I can't. The major card, the Hanged Man, came up in the opposite position. That Hanged Man is asking us for a different perspective, to look at things differently, to see things from a different slant, to be flexible, to be able to look at things and say, this is right, this is not right. I know I've been told this before, but this doesn't sound right to me. And to use that Pisces energy that's giving us the intuition and the compassionate energy of Cancer to give us the want to comfort people, to help when we can. We're being offered all the tools to help. So on that note, I'm going to let you think. Try to support your community. Try to support local stores. Try to support Canadian industry. Try to look at your veterinarian clinics. And if it's a corporate clinic, if it's owned by a corporate clinic, ask. They have to tell you. They may not have it on the door, but you ask. And if it's a corporation, find another one. Find another veterinarian. Make some phone calls. I can give you a list of small veterinarian clinics. They're just small, but they're good and they care. The staff in the clinics are being burnt out because they're watching people suffer. They're watching the dogs suffer with lack of care because they're burnt out. And the veterinarians there are stuck to corporate rules. They have no ability to fight that system. And so they're watching animals die for lack of care, lack of funding. We got to fight some of this. We can't just lay down and let this all happen. All right, so grab your magic swords and see where you can help. Where can you intervene? What can you fight for and win and show that we're not laying down. We're not going to take this laying down. All these oligarchs that are trying to run our lives and run us into the ground, I say no. I say no. I'd rather give up some things than to acquiesce. On that note, speaking of money, I would like to thank Charlie O'Brien for putting this website up, www.terriworld.com, and letting me do these podcasts and then posting them on Spotify podcasts, Apple iTunes, Amazon Music Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube. He doesn't charge me anything for me and for you. And he also puts the YouTube one up and gives me the link, and then I will put it on Facebook. Charlie has a radio station, Big 8 Radio, and that's the number 8, and big8radio.com. And he has a GoFundMe drive going on right now so that he can stay on and he can keep doing this. I, from the bottom of my heart, ask if you can afford $1. If you could just go to his GoFundMe page, I'll put the link on again, or you can email me and I'd be happy to supply the link to you. If you need a reading or any help with your animal, I'd be happy to help you. My email address is terri.coutts@gmail.com. You can email me, or you can text or call 519-726-6699. Thank you all for your time. Please help Charlie with the GoFundMe and keep that radio station streaming. It's all the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, all the oldies. It'll bring back some really good old memories. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Think before you buy. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.